Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Help People podcast. I'm your host, Joel. I'm so excited that you decided to click on this video, click on this audio. Thank you for taking the time to just listen and to be a part of this and to support and to, help me along on this journey. But I just want to introduce myself. Many of you that are watching this already know me, but for those of you that don't, my name is Joel Allen. I'm 24. I am a husband and I am a father. I have one baby girl and a son on the way, and I'm very excited about that. The son is supposed to be here in mid-May, but he might come earlier. We'll see. I'm married to a beautiful woman named Jordan. She just turned 25 last week. Also, my daughter is 2. She's going to turn 3 in June. But yeah, that's a little bit about my personal life. Obviously, I'm a Christian. I serve the Lord. I've been a Christian my entire life, but I really started to live out my own Christian journey when I was in the middle of my teenage years, which was only just about 10 years ago. And I've done a lot of things in my life, even though I've only been on this earth for 24 years. I've been a baker. I've been a youth pastor. I've been a graphic designer. I have been a light technician / production worker. I don't even know what you would call that. But I've done a few things, and I'm not a master at anything per se. But I've been around the block as far as jobs go, and I've also worked at Trader Joe's. My hobbies are pretty extensive. I like, obviously, as a guy my age, the typical video game player. I like video games. I like playing music. I love music. I grew up on music. My dad played the piano, so he was actually a worship pastor, and so we always had a keyboard around, and we always had music playing. And my dad was always singing and praising. And that sounds so weird. My dad was always praising the Lord, but no, he really was. He'd walk around the house and just start singing. So that's kind of like how I am even to this day. I'll just randomly start singing or start beatboxing or making a little melody in my head, and then it comes out of my mouth. I actually play the piano, guitar, and that goes electric guitar, bass guitar, and acoustic guitar. And then I can also play the drums. And I am not a master at them, but I know enough to get me by. Like, I could play, on a worship team. My goal right now is to get to a place where I can set up my acoustic drums, because right now they're just sitting in my closet because I live in an apartment complex. So I would really love to break out my drums again and start playing. But I love playing basketball. I actually have not, to my recollection, played basketball in almost a year. Just because of the parks being closed down due to COVID, and also I injured my shoulder, which is my shooting arm. It's really sad. And I can't throw a football, I can't throw a baseball, I can't do hardly anything because of my injury. It's just really taken a long time to heal. I want to break down kind of what this podcast is going to be like. It is going to be a video and audio format. And the videos will be uploaded to, obviously, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. And then the audio will go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And I might send it somewhere else, to be broadcasted, but I'm not sure yet. I got to do some more research. Bear with me. I am learning the podcasting game. There's a lot that goes into it. And I am, very fortunate to have most of the gear accessible to me. So this podcast really is for the people and somewhat by the people. Obviously, I'll be facilitating everything as the host and as the owner and, just kind of regulator of this podcast and of this program. But I want to be speaking on topics that the viewership really has in mind. Things that you guys are going through, things that you guys have been through, things that in your foreseeable future are going to come up. And I would love to help you work through those things, because I really do have the desire to help people, to shed light on things that need to be brought up and things that need to be brought to the surface, because there's too many people, at least in my generation, that are going through a lot and they feel alone. And I am one of those people at certain times where I feel alone, and I'll have these, mental breakdowns, and I'll worry myself sick. And I know a lot of people don't see that side of me, but trust me, it is real. It is a battle that I face. If you were to stay with me for a couple days, you would kind of see, the rhythms that I go through, the rhythms that I have, and you would see, where my strong suits are and where my low points are. But people only see the highlights on Instagram, and they think life's all peachy. But and life is good. Like, I'm blessed by all means. But at the same time, these things that we go through, they shape us, they form us, and they make us either better or they make us worse because of how we react to them and respond to them. And I want to be able to help people, walk through and talk through what they're going through in life, because it's not fun to be alone. And the Bible talks about you're not alone in your temptation. You're not alone in your struggle. Everybody in this world has faced it, whether they want to admit it or not, whether they want to, band with their brothers and sisters and go through it together or not. Like, everybody has been through it, and it sucks to go through things alone. I know, we all know. And so I want to be there for you. I really do. I really believe in community. I really believe in just kind of reaching out to people and asking them where they're at and what their struggles are and how can I help you. And this is all going to come from a biblical standpoint, because I am a Christian. I am a child of God. And I want to be able to help people from my moral beliefs, my faith background, and how we should deal with that. And so, we're going to walk through this together. You're going to learn with me. We're going to see how we can work this thing out and get it out on all platforms and start helping people, because you're not alone. To be connected to us via Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, you can go Instagram.com/helppeoplepodcast and also Facebook.com/helppeoplepodcast. And you can go ahead and follow us, like our Facebook page, and get all the updates you need. Also, I will be linking a Patreon in each of these little, descriptions, just so I can have the opportunity to be supported, because there are things that I need. Like, I need better lighting. I need a better microphone. I would like to get a camera. Right now I'm using my iPhone XS Max, which is great, 4K at 60 frames a second. I'm not complaining, but at the same time, it would be great to have a camera that I can record these things on, dedicated to my creating content. And so if you can help support me, I'm not going to ever beg you for anything, but if you feel led in any way, any capacity, whether it's advice, something of monetary value, whatever it is, if you can, DM me, and then obviously I'll have my Patreon down there so you guys can donate to that. Real quick, I wanted to touch on something that is really important to me, and something that's obviously really important to our world at this moment, which would be diversity. I want this podcast to represent a healthy diversity, and of course, I'm not trying to turn this thing into like a social justice warrior complex or any type of, I'm not trying to lean right or left in my platform, but at the same time, I want everybody's perspective to be represented, because that's truly how you help people, is you begin to learn and understand others, and you speak to them with truth, and you relate to them and wherever they're at. And so you're going to see people that look differently from you. You're going to see people that make more money or make less money than you, and you're going to see people that have different political views. And this is not going to be a podcast where we're going to be debating, obviously, like, political views or anything like that. But at the same time, those topics will come up, and it'll be uncomfortable for some people. But everything that I'm going to be saying is rooted out of truth, out of the Bible. I'm never going to impose anybody's political views on you, and that goes as far as my own political views or anybody that I bring on this podcast, because I believe it's important to have that full diversity and have, no judgment. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I could not care less. You vote how you want to vote, but I would encourage you to vote according to the Bible. But thank you so much for just listening to this little intro. I know it was a shorter first podcast, but trust me, there's going to be a lot in store. We're going to talk about some crazy stuff. We're going to talk about deep things, and we're going to talk about some stories and challenges in my own life. And I'll be reading and going through other people's stuff that they want me to share, and obviously whoever I bring on the podcast to share. We'll have an opportunity to kind of dissect and go into their stuff to, help people and walk through life with people. Thank you for just taking the time to invest into me, invest into this channel, invest into this podcast. I really am honored that you would take your time out of your day to be a part of what I'm doing, and really a part of what we're doing, because this is a group thing. This is a collaborative project. I'm excited for what is to come, and I know that God has a plan for this podcast. God has a plan for you. Right now, as I just said that, I just feel led to encourage whatever you're doing right now. You're busy, you're working from home, you're going to work, you have kids, you don't have kids, you're trying to find a relationship, you're married, whatever's going on. I want to encourage you, don't give up. I know it's so nonchalant, oh, never give up, don't lose hope. But for real, don't give up, because God has great plans for you. God wants to bring things to you that you can walk through, go through, be blessed by, and be a blessing to others. And just know that your struggle is not for yourself only. You are going to get stronger from this, but also you're going to be able to share your experience with somebody else and be able to help them with what they are going through, because people need to know that they're not alone and that they have somebody there. So whatever you're going through, good or bad, don't give up. Keep going, keep persevering, keep your head down, and just grind on. There's going to be people that are naysayers and always have just something negative to say. Take it. If it's not good, leave it at the door. Always have a tender heart but tough skin. That's something to really remember. Have a tender heart towards God and towards people, and understand that people are going to try to hurt you. People are going to try to say mean things about you, but be encouraged knowing that those people are going through things, you're going through things, and if you personally decide to be the difference, then you can be the difference in that person, and they can be the difference in another person. And that's how we truly see change, is by you making the decision saying, I'm going to not give up. I'm going to be resilient. I'm going to have tough skin and a tender heart, be able to minister and reach out to people that are hurting and be the change. Because if not you, then who? Who's going to do it for you? Who's going to do it for them? You have to be the change. You have to decide and say, I'm going to be the change today and tomorrow. And you got to understand, you're doing this for not only yourself, but for your children, for your friends, for your cousins, for your mom, for your dad, everybody in your life, everybody, affected by those people in your life. You're doing it for them. You're doing it for everybody. We want to be a positive impact on everybody we come in contact with, because there's too many people in this world that are alone, that feel alone. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has temptations. If you have somebody in mind as you're watching this video or listening to this podcast, I encourage you to pause it real quick, text that person, call that person, hit up that person, encourage them. Share with them the love of God that you have received, because somebody needs help. Everybody needs help. And if you could be that change in somebody's life, then do it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining our first podcast. I know that, like I said earlier, this was really short, but just know we're going to have some long ones, and we're going to have some good, juicy content that's just going to encourage you, going to help you and help you stay consistent, help you stay goal-oriented, and help you stay focused on the things that are ahead and not be staring at your rearview mirror. Love you guys. Have a safe day. Be blessed. Encourage somebody today.